Hey guys, welcome back to another video where we'll be exploring my upgraded desk setup tour. Now, since lockdown began, I've been spending a lot more time at this desk for my 9 to 5 and also my side hustles outside of work. With more of us at home, I really hope this video is of interest to you. So I've been spending a bit more money on upgrading the kit around me and making sure it doesn't take up too much space in the bedroom. Unfortunately, the dream of having my own office and YouTube studio while I'm still in London is all but a distant hope. If you're from Fully or Autonomous and watching this, then definitely hit me up. However, I still wanted to make sure that I have a setup which allows me lots of space on a small desk, as well as the ability to film videos and voiceovers like this, and use that kit to double up as the most overkill Zoom setup ever. The desk faces out a massive floor-to-ceiling window, so there's plenty of daylight. Sometimes a bit too much when the sun makes its way around, but at least I don't feel too cut off from the outside world when I'm working away. The desk, you might have noticed, has evolved over the course of the YouTube channel so far, so I thought it's about time I give you a tour of each item, where I got it from and how much it roughly cost, and I've also linked all of the main items as a list in the description. Also, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video, as it massively helps me out. The keyboard I'm using is the MX Keys by Logitech, which is a wireless Bluetooth keyboard that can connect to 3 devices at once. I've been using it for a few weeks and really love it so far. The keys feel amazing and have these little grooves on them that fit perfectly to your fingers when you're typing away at 160 words per minute. It's also pretty quiet when you're on Zoom calls, and if you're a bit bored and multitasking, the other person can't really hear you working away or writing YouTube scripts in the background. You can simply switch between the devices using 3 keys, which means I can flick between my Mac and my work laptop, keeping the desk free of multiple keyboards for multiple devices. You can also plug the keyboard in using a USB-C connection, which will charge the keyboard. There's also a little switch on the back where you can turn the keyboard on and off. It does go into sleep mode when you turn the devices off, but I prefer to properly turn off the keyboard just to try and get the most out of the battery between every single charge. On a full charge, it probably lasts around 10 days of decent use, but if you turn the backlights off, it can end up lasting weeks. So if you want to last longer, turn the lights off. A really cool feature is the backlights, which turn off when you don't use the keyboard for a few seconds, but then as your hands hover over it, the keyboard magically lights up again, so it's perfect for day or night. As you can see, it looks really awesome at night, and the keys are bright so you can see what you're doing. To nicely pair with the MX keys, I also have the MX Master 3 mouse by Logitech. It pairs perfectly with the MX keys and looks super slick in a rubbery, matte black finish and ergonomic design to fit your hand perfectly. It has a nice little palm rest, and the one I have comes in a space grey colour, so pairs perfectly with the keyboard. The scroll wheel is really funky. It's got a normal clicking design, but when you scroll it fast, the mechanism inside unlocks and the wheel free spins, meaning you can speed scroll through all of the YouTube comments at record speeds. It also has a small port on the front which allows you to plug in the mouse and charge it using USB-C. You can still use the mouse while charging it, which is really useful. Logitech say that the mouse can last up to 70 days on a full charge and up to 3 hours from a 1-minute charge, which is amazing. Now, I couldn't do a desk setup tour without mentioning my new iPhone 12 Pro in Pacific Blue. Now, I used to have an iPhone 5 back in the day, but then swapped to Samsung phones for a while to try out Android. I know, we all make mistakes. But the one thing I noticed that jumping from a Samsung Galaxy S9 up to an iPhone 12 is just ridiculous. I didn't quite appreciate how far Apple silicone has come over the past few years, and the A14 chip in this phone is more powerful than most Intel desktop chips, which is just bonkers, and I can even edit 4K footage on the phone, which just blows my mind. Even though there's not much difference between the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro, the reason I went for the Pro in the end is that it has 50% more RAM, and it came with 128GB of storage as standard. And as I wanted a speedier phone, I really was not disappointed whatsoever. I tend to keep each phone for 3 to 4 years so that when I do upgrade, I actually notice the difference, and this has to be one of my best upgrades so far. Next up are my Hue lights. These are the Philips Hue Smart Bars, which came as a pair, and they're connected to the Hue bridge in my cupboard, and they're all linked up through Wi-Fi. I really like how I can control these from my iPhone or smart devices around the flat, and they really add a nice splash of colour to any room. At full power, they're also super bright, so work perfectly during the day. Here on the shot, they're at about 60% brightness, so they're not even full. I usually have them behind my TV and usually use them for filming videos and to add some flavour to an otherwise bland white wall behind it. They're fully customisable and you can choose from over 16 million colours, and although I haven't experimented much with them just yet apart from background lighting in my videos, they're also really handy for lighting B-roll shots and creating some dramatic coloured lighting, so it's something I'll be experimenting with in the future. On the app you can customise both bars and either sync them together or you can do them separately, and you can select different colours on a colour wheel or use the set presets that come with the app. This is really great if you want to set a particular mood like a warm light in the evening or energising bright white during the day. My favourite combo at the moment has to be a blue and purple mix, which you can spot in most of my YouTube videos. As these are Philips lights, the colour in them is incredible, and you can see that the colour on the app pretty much matches the colour that you see from the lights, so you can really custom tailor them to your needs. The lights themselves also look super slick, which I bought in a matte black finish, and I think they come in a white variation as well. So as well as being practical, they also look the part, so I don't mind having them on show. Now, I can't speak highly enough of my new M1 Mac Mini. I've been working on an old 2012 15-inch MacBook Pro for a while, and it was an absolute killer when working on 4K footage. But generally, everything was really slow, so this is a huge upgrade with almost 8 years in tech improvements between them. To hide all of the cables behind the Mac Mini, I use a really simple cable organizer that's stuck to the back of the desk, which holds all of the cable ends, meaning I can quickly and easily grab them. And as you can see, the cables are an absolute mess behind the scenes. Okay, so moving on to the next part of the desk, I have to give a quick shout out to my spider plant that helps clean the air. Next up is my Focusrite Scarlett Solo. This is an audio interface that produces super crispy sound from my Mac. I use it to plug in my microphone and plug in headphones when editing videos to hear every single note. The quality is way better than anything over Bluetooth using the Mac. It has a USB-C connection on the back and has a left and right audio output to plug in speakers. Otherwise, it plugs in via USB into my Mac. I can plug in an XLR microphone that needs phantom power and have that broadcast microphone quality when on Zoom. And I don't know about you, but I'm a real stickler for good quality audio on videos. As I don't have room for a double acoustic speaker set just yet, instead I opted for the small but powerful Bose Mini Soundlink 2 Bluetooth speaker. I've actually had this for quite a while and it must be about 5 or 6 years old now, but this speaker really proves that size does not matter. The sound that it produces is just immense compared to its size, and I think that it has to be one of Bose's best products that they've made. It's portable and it runs on its own battery, or you can just plug it in. Usually when I'm working away, I listen to some kind of lo-fi or chill hop beats, and the audio is super crispy on this speaker with really rich bass, which still blows my mind for how small it is. And all of this wouldn't be complete without my pride and joy, which is the Shure SM7B microphone, which is the go-to podcast quality mic. You'll often find this mic on a lot of big podcasts or YouTube shows, so naturally it was a purchase that I had to make. This is connected and attached to the Rode PSA-1 arm, which is really easily fixed to the desk using a clamp, and it doubles up as a handy headphone holder when I'm not using my headphones. The mic is absolutely amazing, but if I'm brutally honest, I'm actually not that impressed with the Rode PSA-1 arm. I mean, the squeak is just absolutely horrible on this. Have a listen. I think I'll definitely be upgrading the mic arm at some point in the near future, but for £70 I'm really disappointed by Rode. But back to the mic. You can play around with some of the settings on the back of the microphone, but I've found I've never really needed to play around with these for what I use the mic for, so I pretty much use it daily for Zoom calls and try to use it where I can for YouTube videos, which is what you're hearing me on now. When I'm not using the mic, I can simply lift it out of the way and store it by the side of my desk and leave it suspended in the air, which cuts down on space, so it saves me setting it up every single time, and it naturally just fits by the side of my desk when I'm not using it. And last but by no means least is my trusty Sony WH-1000X M3 Bluetooth noise cancelling headphones, which I use for editing and generally blocking out annoying Londoners. A lot of the reviews that I read mention that the Sony clarity just topped Bose completely. They're super comfy and have a sponge type headbar, so fit well and comfortable on your head, and the ear cups have this super soft memory foam, so you can wear them for hours without feeling uncomfortable, as well as creating a nice seal around your ears for the noise cancelling feature. I debated between these and the Bose 700s for a while, but after buying a Bose 300 soundbar for my TV, I actually found that it had really bad midtones and lack of clarity, so I decided to go and give Sony a try. You can also charge these headphones using a USB-C cable, and if you haven't spotted by now, I'm trying to live the one cable life by charging all of my devices using one cable. I hope you've enjoyed checking out my desk tour setup for 2021. I've linked all of the items in the description, and if you enjoyed this video, you can check out this one here on the side, which is how I work over 80 hours a week without burning out. So feel free to check it out, and I'll see you on my next video.